Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for this month's new issue of The Walking Dead. We got issue 191. Sorry, this is kind of like a mid-month review. I was kind of busy the first 2 weeks of this month. I had other videos, had stuff outside of YouTube to do. So, sorry this one's a little bit late. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and if this happens to be Rick's death, which it could be, I think that this is a good way to do it. I don't know. I really liked this arc, and I think that the conclusion was handled well and well to a point where, like, I had some complaints here and there about Rick's character even, and if this is how it's all ending up, even my complaints are kind of, like, fixed. A lot of things have just been handled well here toward the end. So I'll talk about it start to finish, what I thought about it and all that. So, starting off, we have Rick stopping the fighting before it even starts, which of course, if he says stop, all the soldiers are going to stop. Why would they? I brought it up last month, why would they attack anyway? Because Pamela's telling them basically, hey, you know those people that you've lived with for years, survived with, and have built a community around? Yeah, shoot your own. She's like telling her own people to shoot her own people, and they're kind of like, wait, hold on. Like, why wouldn't they take pause to be like, wait, no, we're not doing this? So, yeah, I don't know. Pamela's just a terrible leader, and it's like, she's like, why aren't you listening, or why aren't you attacking? It's like, holy fuck, she's dumb too, because what if they did all just listen to her mindlessly and start killing each other? She would have been front lines right there in the center of all of them shooting each other. She probably would have died as well. I mean, we know she's horribly disconnected from reality in the way that she acts like, everything's fine, while she's being like the worst aristocratic stereotype. But yeah, you wouldn't think she'd be that dumb. But either way, Rick gives a great speech about how they all need to work together. And the theme this time is we are not the Walking Dead, which is great. Taking back what he said before about how we're all living on borrowed time. That's why we're the Walking Dead. But now he's like, at least we don't have to be. We can work together. We don't have to live on borrowed time. We can build communities, cities, and just sort of live like things were before, just in a world with zombies and stuff. So they finally reached that point. He then shames Pamela, and rightfully so, being like, I thought I could work with you, I thought I could handle all this peacefully, I thought that everything could just work out with you still in charge, but now I realize that you're just power hungry, you're in it for the power. And nothing he said was wrong. Everything he said had kind of already been confirmed in her actions. Mercer then arrests her for her safety because, of course, the citizens, probably a lot of them might not be very happy with her. Sebastian acts like an entitled dick, as usual. That's basically the only thing. It's hard to even call him a character because that's like the one and only thing he's got going on, is being an entitled dick. There is nothing else that has happened with his character. Rick goes to visit and apologize to Pamela for handling it the way he did, and just talking with her, where she's like, she's kind of getting like snarky with him, but he's like, do you really think you made the right decisions here? You were gonna send a whole bunch of people to their death, like your own people, to kill your own people. But he talks things through with her. She's escorted back to her house, where she's going to have guards there to protect her and everything. And they're going to try to handle all this together. So we learn with a scene with Michonne that the first organized election's going to be coming up. Rick isn't going to run because he realizes, as he explains to Carl in the next scene, that the Commonwealth needs to grow from within. He can't just come in and take it over. He has his own things to do. But most importantly, the Commonwealth needs to grow from within. It needs to be somebody who was there. And in the last scene, Sebastian comes in and shoots Rick. And at first, the way the blood looked, I was like, maybe somebody shot Sebastian from behind and that's just his blood getting on Rick. But no, he actually shot him. So if he died here, I think honestly it would be a great death. Because of two things. In the end, Rick won. In the end, Rick brought everybody together. And it would be so good to tell a story where he brings everyone together and then bam, he's gone. So now everyone who he's brought together, they have to try to not turn on each other, have to not kill each other. He's the one that brought them together, but they're the ones who are going to have to figure out how to live together without him there to tell them what to do. So I think that could be really great for the other characters, giving them a time to shine, and just in general being a good story. But another thing is, we've already seen the death where, I would say Andrea's death, where everybody gets time to say their goodbyes and the character gets time to explain, oh, these are my thoughts on this person, and this is what I think about this situation. But if Rick just dies here before anybody else gets to him, that would kind of be the best scenario in my opinion, because he's the main character. We've seen his journey. We don't need him to explain what he feels about each character. That would be fan servicey. We could do it, but I think it would be good to just have him die. We don't need it. And then all those characters, they don't get that closure. They don't get that final moment of Andrea telling them all her last wishes for them or whatever. They don't get that with Rick. I think that would be a really good way to tell the story. Just to cut those characters off like that, where now, instead of their story being, oh, taking the strength that he left them in his final words, their story is finding out what to do now that he's gone. Without the main character, what do the other characters do? I think that would be the best direction to take the story, and it could be where we're going. Also, something else this issue highlighted is Pamela being a real shit. Like, again, she has always been a shit. She is always sort of, for her own power-hungry needs and her own belief that she needs to be in charge, has always put everybody else at risk and kind of screwed over everybody else. But at the same time, you would think there'd be a limit that she'd know, hey, I'm standing in the middle of my people and my people plus some other people, and I'm telling them to shoot each other while I'm standing in the midst of them. You would think she would think that's a bad idea, not only telling your people to fight your people, because that would be bad, but also telling them to do so while standing in the middle of them. You'd think all of that would occur to her as being not a good move, and that talking things out would be much, much preferable to shooting things out. But either way, yeah, Pamela's a real shit. And even after all that, when they're like, hey, we're going to be nice to you, you're still going to get to keep your place, we're going to work this out together, Rick even comes and apologizes to her. She still wants to get snarky with him. So, yeah, Pamela's a real shit here. But I'd give it a score of 9 entitled dicks out of 10. I thought it told a really good ending to the conflict so far, but also kind of kicking up what could be the next stage of the conflict, which is how is everybody going to work together if Rick is gone. So we'll have to see where things head. Like, I'm sure it'll be good either way, but what I really hope doesn't happen is Kirkman dragging this out for 9 more issues with Rick still being alive. Kind of an Andrea-ish situation. I don't want another repeat of that. But, yeah. Like, when Andrea did it, that was basically the first time that had happened, so it was fine. But repeating the same thing we had recently with Andrea, but with Rick, I kind of don't want a repeat of the same thing. I'd like for this to be handled differently. In a way, it could be, like I said, is if Rick just dies and now the other characters have to find out what to do without him. But, yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of this issue, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. Subscribe for more of The Walking Dead. I'm going to do a video on Season 9 of the TV show, probably sometime soon, within the next few days. And every month I do reactions and reviews of the comics issues. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching. And I said like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord about anything, then just ask and I can give you a link. It's free and open for anyone. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.